As a child, I was raised by my grandmother. She used to always tell me, Doina, you're born to be somebody. I didn't really understand what that actually meant until I was older. And as I tried to find myself, I did a lot of things that were not necessarily who I was. I started with doing hairdressing. I did that for 10 years. We started in a place where we never thought we were going to start, and we never realized that our path takes us to where we're supposed to be. But this is basically what happened with me. I got into technology, and it was all by accident. I worked in this charitable organization, and I decided to help them with funding. I realized that having an online presence, so the use of technology was very important. I remember I would talk to potential funders, and they would say, do you have an online presence? Do you have a website? And this particular organization only had a phone number and an email. I built a website and the online presence, and they started to get funding. When my contract was finished there, I decided to do the unthinkable. I opened a social media business. I decided to learn as much as possible about it. I'm going to these workshops, and I would see 35, 40 people in the room. Maybe 3 or 4 of those people were women, including myself. A lot of women that would come and they would ask me to ask questions on their behalf. I was a little bit puzzled by that because I felt, I'm asking questions, why can you ask your own question? And then I decided after a while to have these conversations with women and ask them, why can you ask your own question? The funny thing, which is not so funny, is that different events, different women, but the story was very similar. Here's this industry, STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, where women are so underrepresented. The numbers at that time were 17 to 20% of women were in STEM. But if you look at women of color or diverse backgrounds, the number was lower. Seeing this, I felt that women's rights everywhere are supposed to be represented. I've also seen it as a way that working with women where they will get proper education and they have the adequate skills to give them a fulfilling career, therefore they will be able to make money, to be sustainable. And you know how when we get this great idea about something and say somebody should be doing this? That was me. I thought to myself, having worked in the nonprofit work with people that were underserved, and have I been someone in the system where I had to depend on these services, the skills such as technology were never introduced to people like us. But we needed people like us to fill in this gap of diversity. And yet everything was so inaccessible, it was very expensive. I went to my mentor's office. I said, I'm not a woman in STEM. My mentor said, you actually kind of are. You're working with technology. Yes, you haven't had the actual education, but you taught yourself a lot of these things. That makes you a woman in STEM. And you also understand what it's like to come from an underserved background. You understand, not to have resources, you know what that is. You understand barriers. So you're far ahead than a woman in STEM that doesn't have an understanding of all of this. That makes you the best person. To me, that was yes, I can do this. I feel like I had permission. And that's how VOLUTION was born. This is how this organization came to happen, because it felt like it was something, it was my calling, it was something that I'm supposed to do. And I do it with pride. I do it because I feel that it's going to create change, maybe for the women today, not so much, but for the next generation, they feel like now they have a voice, because we're creating a path for them. And this is what VOLUTION is here to do, is create a path for the women that come after us, so they can have a seat at the table, so they can have a voice, so they can make decisions, and so they can take space there where they deserve to be there.